Hey guys, a while back I did a poll, and the poll asked basically, which type of deck should I build? And 60% of you guys voted anti-tier, and 40% of you voted for a tier build. So anti-tier won out, and ever since I've kind of been on and off trying to think of a good anti-tier list to make. And of course, this list would have to be decent going both first and second, right? So where that led me to is Koa'ki Meiru Doom. This card single-handedly just this is like almost like what's his face? True King of all calamities, but specifically for light and dark monsters. So it does not matter where they activate, whether it's the hand, the graveyard, the field. Light and dark monsters will be negated, so Koa'ki Meiru Doom, we can just normal summon Koa'ki Meiru Doom. But the issue is that a lot of decks can't just give up their normal summon, and then on top of that, you'd have to be playing, preferably a deck that does not run light and dark monsters. So, okay, that's pretty awkward, actually. But then, that's not the end of the story. During each of your end phases, destroy this card unless you send one Iron Core of Koa'ki Meiru from your hand to the graveyard or reveal one Fiend type monster in your hand. So I'm pretty sure that just sending a Koa'ki Meiru is an Iron Core of Koa'ki Meiru. That's not gonna happen. So having a Fiend in hand is much more likely, and I thought before that you'd be able to negate Koa'ki Meiru Doom, with, for example, Chizao effect. Just for example, not necessarily because this is light, so that wouldn't work. But there are some monsters kind of like Chizao that do this. So you can target on another effect monster, and not one your opponent controls. Some cards only target your opponents. So anyways, then I was thinking of negating Koa'ki Meiru Doom for the turn if I'm setting up with it. If I'm just going second, I don't need to necessarily upkeep it. I just wanna have it maybe summoned so I can interfere with my opponent so that they can't play, basically. And then that made me realize, after I tested it, oh wait, this doesn't work at all. This doesn't count as an effect. I don't know why, but for example, if you sales ban a Rongo mini-ad, your opponent can activate cards with effects of cards with the same original name as that card, whatever. So if you declare Rongo mini-ad with sales ban while you have a Rongo mini-ad, what ends up happening is Rongo mini-ad does not detach. And apparently, Rongo mini-ad, now that I look at it, this detaches for effect. So this is kind of like a cost that must be paid. Even if you have skill drain up, Koa'ki Meiru Doom will destroy itself. It's pretty bad. So then, that leads me to the point where it's maybe we need to actually have a Fiend deck of some sort. But of course, a lot of Fiends, the best ones, I think, are all dark, just straight up. DD is one of the best Fiend archetypes. Yeah, they're pretty much all dark. And getting out Doom is not super easy with DD. But I mean, it's manageable enough. And I guess if you were to for example, do a full combo with DD and then end on Koa'ki Meiru Doom by normal summoning it, that would be honestly, okay, that would maybe work, right? Because you have some non-dark monsters for your end board, for example, High Wave King Caesar. Sure, that might work out. And you might be able to just do a synchro combo or something, so end on a Crystal Wing or something. It's fine, doesn't matter. But then if you were to normal summon Koa'ki Meiru Doom to hinder your opponents from stopping you, right? Stopping them from activating Haveness or whatever. This would also stop you from activating all your main deck DDs because those are all dark. There's some extra deck monsters here and there, a couple that are not dark, right? But you can't even get into them, so that whole plan is flawed. There's also an idea of like just using Electromite to maybe grab a fiend like pen monster, like perform a classic Kuribo or whatever. That is not completely the worst idea because their penned effects will still work. So that has a little bit of merit, and if we did like, for example, normal summon Kepler, and then we add like Gate, add like Griffin, there's like a bit of hope with that, I guess, right? And then like later you could, I guess, pen summon Doom maybe, but you just probably would only use 7 Kepler and Griffin in this case to make Electromite, I think. Probably. Or like Beyond the Pendulum or something like that. Not the best. And like, for example, if I want to run Chaos Hunter, I can't activate Chaos Hunter or whatever. Or actually, let's go with a better example. Skullmeister? I can't activate Skullmeister if I have Koa'ki Meiru Doom on the field. So, running hand traps and kind of like searching for that hand trap, that's not gonna work. So that just sucks. So as we're looking through, like primarily, it's just dark monsters everywhere. I didn't filter dark, but like even if they're not all dark in the main deck, like a key part of your combo might be like a dark monster that needs to resolve. And that's just pretty bad, honestly. Pretty rough to deal with. So then, there's also the issue of it just negating like your end board if you're not careful. As you won't be able to activate any of your like effects like of your end board monsters if they're dark monsters, so that is also rough. Continuous effects are fine though, like for example, Majesty's Fiend would be okay. Vanity's Fiend would also be okay. So I've kind of just started looking at like Infernoid, because Infernoid is fire and they don't necessarily need they don't need a normal summon because they can't be normal summoned anyway, so kind of works out. And you can reasoning special summon like a Koa'ki Meiru Doom or whatever. I mean, like, that sounds like it could work okay. Just basically, we want to probably find a way to add some caffeine. Like, you can play Lava Golem alongside Koa'ki Meiru Doom as well, which is pretty good, I guess. In an Infernoid build, it might work out. And the other thing I was thinking about is with, like, an adventure build that utilizes Koa'ki Meiru Doom, but like, well, upkeeping is a little awkward, but you can add a legal knight who is actually a fiend. Despite being called a knight, it's not a warrior, you know? But whatever. We can like Fateful add a legal knight, and then they'll upkeep Koa'ki Meiru Doom, and of course, if you have Griffin, Griffin is a wind, so completely fine. Your Enchantress as well is a water monster, so it's not hindered at all by Koa'ki Meiru Doom. And you can just normal summon Koa'ki Meiru Doom and its effect won't be negated by right. This only stops you from using activated effects of a normal summon monster. This is a continuous effect. So there's some synergy with that. So aside from that, though, so far, I don't really have any super good ideas. There is, like, one other thing. Since, like, for example, Koa'ki Meiru Doom is a level 3 monster, I can Cherubini send this, right? And then I can, like, special summon Koa'ki Meiru Doom on the next turn, just for example. Don't have to worry too much about how you're doing it. But, like, if you do that, you're playing Cherubini, which is like a dark monster. But the good thing about that is Cherubini actually sends for cost. So Cherubini sending for cost is actually pretty good, because even if it's negated, you can still send your your copy your like level 3 monsters, so that brings a little bit more credibility to the idea of playing with like the adventure package. If it wasn't as limited, I think I would just straight up like for example, go like this and then this and then like put in a copy of Foolish Burial and then like maybe some copies of the Koa'ki Meiru like search spell. Whatever it was called. Yeah, Diamond Core. I mean, like, something like this would not be, like, completely awful, actually. And, I mean, the last idea I have is just, like, fuck it, we FTK. Like, yeah. Did you know how, this card interacts with, Gallus the Star Beast and, Genix Birdman? Genix Ally Birdman, specifically? Let's see, where is it? Should be here somewhere. Oh, there we go. So, Gen X Ally Birdman and Gallus the Star Beast do not have hard once per turns or once per turns to begin with. So, if I go ahead and look at Gen X Ally Birdman, this returns for cost, but it will get the special summon part of Gen X Ally Birdman negated. So, if I have Koa'ki Meiru Doom on the field and like Gallus the Star Beast either on field or in hand, I can then burn my opponent to death with the Gallus the Star Beast effect if my deck consists solely of monsters, because then I will be able to just keep special summoning the Gallus the Star Beast by adding it back with Gen X Ally Birdman, and it's just a loop, and that will kill my opponent with absolute certainty. And yeah, that's about it for that, I guess. So, I mean, it looks like it'll work out pretty well, in my opinion, but I don't know. Either way, it's still pretty rough. Like, those are the 3 primary leading ideas I have now regarding a deck that uses Koa'ki Meiru Doom, which of course counters tier really hard, in the sense that it is also similar to like Imano Iwato. How do you spell this card? Imano Iwato? We're struggling. Imano Iwato? What? My brain. No, wait, what's it? Amano Iwato? What? Oh, there we go. Amano Iwato. Well, yeah. So this is like a one-sided Amano Iwato, which is pretty good, I guess, right? So if you normal summon this going second or normal summon this going first, you're just doing better overall. And it also has the side effect of also negating like Herald of the Orange Light, for example, in case your opponent draws it, which is unfortunate for you, I guess, but the only thing that I think a tier player would be able to do is like ash you. Aside from that, it's nothing like super outstanding. Getting rid of Koa'ki Meiru Doom, I guess, is not super easy for them, but at least going second, what they could do potentially is activate Salik to negate Doom, I guess. So, still working on the theory and such of this, but if we're playing Infernoid or something like that, we can probably bait out Salik, and then if we pop Salik, it's not a big deal anymore, because they're just adding a dead card that can't activate, because Doom would be on the field. And also, there's also, yeah, the kind of 3 spam deck that you can utilize. There are a bunch of 3 spam stuff, or things, like, I don't know, like Psychic Welder, I guess, will work just fine, if I can find it. Like Psychic Tracker, Psychic Wielder, none of these are darks or lights. And I don't remember, but there are a bunch of cards like these, so maybe like a strategy that utilizes 3s kind of like this, that where I can summon Cherubini. Like, non-dark or light, that might be good. And I was also thinking, like, was there maybe some way I can utilize Therion with this? And no, not really. It's too rough. How would I utilize Therion monsters with this? Can't really think of a way. But I mean, well, I guess Koa'ki Meiru, if you get it going, in theory, like, it should completely stomp on tier. And on the bright side, if you normal summon this, it actually stops you from getting shifted as well. Because shifter is also a dark unless your opponent just uses it off rip, I suppose. And like, Nibiru is not a threat because Nibiru will not be able to activate either, so that's pretty good. And you have options like Apollosa still available. So I'll keep working on this theory. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.